Climate change is one of those issues still affecting us globally, and as the sports family, we'd like to see how we can get involved in sports for conservation. We have the UN resolution on climate, which we are going to be signing as a National Olympic Committee, and we join the rest of the Olympic family in pushing the agenda for sports for conservation. So we're very happy to be discussing with the Umoja Conservation Foundation, which is one of the foundations doing a lot of work in this area. And in the coming year, we're looking forward to having this partnership moved forward so we can see how we can make sports for conservation a reality, how we can get involved in greening sport in our country. And we believe that this possible partnership is something of the way to go, and we look forward to, in the new year, making sport for conservation one of our key areas of interest.
If you look carefully and critically, amongst the 13 SDGs, 7 of them talk about conservation and water. And that's not by accident. It shows you how critical Mother Nature is to our survival. But fast forward, sports is one of the major activities that emit carbon into the atmosphere. I don't know if you've done some homework on how much you emit as a sport.
Well, we travel a lot, so definitely our carbon footprint is there, but like I said, we can offset it. We have the Olympic forest, we have the UN resolution on climate, which we are going to sign up as the NOC. So I think this is definitely a good time to begin this conversation on sport for conservation.
So as you can clearly hear from the President, sports, not only in Uganda but worldwide, is one of the major emitters of carbon. So why we're here is to say, how do we work together to ensure that we do not contribute to these emissions continuously? How do we come together to offset the emissions that we put in the atmosphere? But two, how do we guarantee a sports dual pathway so that our wonderful sportsmen who don't have a long shelf of sports, by the way, can continue benefiting gainfully from our green economy? And what are we proposing? Next year, together with the Uganda Olypic Committee, we're proposing 3 satellite events. 1 is the Elgon Conservation Campaign. That's in March. 2 is the Albertine Conservation Week. That's in June. And then 3 is the Rwenzori Conservation Campaign. What we're doing in these 3 regions is, we know that these are major ecosystems that Uganda is dependent on. In the Elgon, we have the Kapchorwa Belt, the City Kapchorwa Belt, and the Elgon Mountain. That is a sustainable livelihood of over 20 million people. But we also know that it is in that belt that we have produced the most gold medals that Uganda has to date. I don't know if I'm right about that. That's correct. Now, to continue getting those gold medals, we must not tamper with ecosystems. Tyrate is a high altitude training ground. If we continue cutting trees at the rate at which we're cutting them, we will not maintain that high training ground. So we don't want to wait for disaster to strike. We would want to work with the Uganda Olympic Committee and quietly and smartly plant 100 million trees in the Elgon, plant 100 million trees in the Rwenzori, and plant 100 million trees in the Albertine. And our plea here for a partnership is to bring the private sector on board, the donor communities. Every sportsman should have a simple forest. We're talking about the Olympic forest. But before we get to the Uganda Olympic forest, why don't we have our own sports forests? Cycling, swimming, football, marathon. All of us should work towards having our own small forests and then in bigger forests.